grow fast. They want to grow aggressively. And there's a limitation that you could grow in physically. Yeah. So if you have a store, if you have a brick and mortar, or if you have, just a regular business where you're only reaching out to the local business, I mean, it's going to die. I mean, I wouldn't say it was going to die, but there's a limitation. I mean, I moved out from my business, which was giving me limitation because I could only cater to a radius of 5 kilometers in both my businesses before, in my service apartment business, and even for that matter, in my hospital business that I had. So I could only have limitation to the people I could scale. But I wanted to be part of a business where I could scale faster, where I could contribute, where I could give value to, where I could make an impact to many people, as many as I could. Now, that's only possible if you go digital. Now, whatever business you are in, if you're not making an impact, first of all, even if it's for one person or two people, the most important thing is that, are you making an impact? Then after you realize that, yes, your contribution is making an impact, then the next thing comes is, how many people are you making an impact to? Now, we all want to make an impact to as many people as we want to. Now, if you want to make an impact to as many people as you want to, the only way out for you is to go virtual, to go digital, and to access and to contribute to as many people as possible. Now, even when you go digital, there are two ways now people have started considering digital, of growing digital. The first one being organic, and the second one being paid acquisition. Now, everybody considers that paid acquisition is, you know what, Meher, I wouldn't want to buy audience for my show. I wouldn't want to, pull people to watch me. I don't want to pay money to have people to watch me. But hey, listen, if you have only 500 people as your friend, or you may have like 5,000 people, that's the max Facebook allows you to have. But if those 5,000 people don't engage with your content each time that you come out with, what are you going to do? You yourself are going to be impatient. You yourself are going to start realizing that I talk so much, but people don't connect. People don't resonate. Yeah. Because your inner circle, because those 500 to 5,000 people are not interested. They like you as a person, but your content is not a context to them. They're out of it. They're in a different league. I mean, Kabir is a good photographer, but photography doesn't impact me. If Kabir talks to me about anything apart from photography, I would love him as a guy. I mean, I would like to talk to him. But when he talks photography, it doesn't impact me. And if I'm his friend, if he's going to keep talking about photography, he's not going to impact me. But yes, if Kabir decides to advertise to the people who likes photography and bring them to his page so that they could see that how much impact he could make to their life or their business or their sort of whatever they're doing in photography, and if he can make an impact to those people, they're going to love him. True. They're going to find value in his content. But that's what is not happening. And people then get frustrated. They write so much a blog, they make so many videos, they put it on YouTube thinking that, there will be a day somebody will come and watch my video and they're going to like it. But it's not going to happen. I'm sorry to say, guys, if you are somebody who has good content and you are genuine and you are ready to impact and your content is ready to impact, please do not depend on your inner circle, because it's not going to be always that your inner circle is going to like you. You got to reach out to those people. Yeah. And one of the best ways to reach out to those people is to do a paid acquisition.
Yeah, we'll
if
talk
not
about
paid acquisition.
Let me ask you a quick question, Meher, on this thing. So you're saying that people who are in the social media, using the social media platforms to sell their businesses and also sell themselves as a person brand, have to discern between people who merely like them and people who are prospective customers. So there has to be a very clear distinction between them, because people who merely like them or are just friends may not be likely customers for them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. See, First of all, if you are getting into personal branding, and if you are getting into, trying to create yourself as a contributor, as someone who wants to go out and give knowledge or be a brand for himself, like a personal brand, then you need to get out of your personal profile on Facebook, and you need to create a business page, because you could only exponentially grow if you have a business page. Your profile is limited to 5,000 people, and you can't do acquisition on your profile. You only can do acquisition if you have a business page. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, Facebook is only going to let you organically grow, which is, I'm telling you,
meaning, newer followers, acquisition of followers.
Yeah, you'll have to do advertisement. You'll have to do Facebook ads to find people who connect with your ideology, to find people who connect with your content. So if you're a photographer, and if you want to talk to the photography fraternity, if you want to talk to people who have art in them, or who have interest in arts and be as artistic people, you need to connect with them, because how many are you going to find in your own profile? Yeah, so I'm your friend, but I don't connect with that context, right? So you need to go out and find more people who are going to be connecting with your content. So do not wait. Guys, if you're going to sit and wait, it's going to be too far-fetched for you. So you're going to be impatient.
I think we all agree that the new normal is go digital. So also, Beher, that we keep on, a lot of people keep on asking, there's so many platforms now, Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and a lot of it coming up. So as an individual or a personal brand, I mean, it's very difficult for us to choose which one to use, which one to leave. So I'll come to that question. Before that, I'll have a small poll for all the people. I'm putting up a poll about how many digital platforms you're actively using now for your personal branding. It's a multiple choice question. So guys, it's launched now on your screen. Please pick which all platforms you are using as of now. Actively using. I'm not saying you are there, actively using, like posting and regularly engaging yourself. Great. So a lot of people are coming in. Already 50% is done. Guys, please give us your opinion. It'll help us, help all of our panelists to actually answer your questions, and also give you some perspectives about which all platforms to use and kind of how to optimize it and stuff. So I'm going to take another 5 seconds, and after that, I'll close the polls. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, I'll just give another 2 seconds. 2 and 1. So we have almost most of the people who have given in their opinion. Wow, so amazing results. I'll just share for all of you to see. Here you go. 79% people are using Facebook as their most active. 62% Insta, 55% LinkedIn, YouTube 32%, Twitter 15%, TikTok 2%, Pinterest 9%, and all of the above 4%, which is very, very good. So I think great. Thank you so much, guys, for your poll, for your opinion. It really means a lot to us. Okay, so Meher, my question to you is it important for your business to have digital presence across multiple platforms? I mean, right now I'm not talking about what to choose, but basically asking you that, is it important for us to have digital presence across multiple platforms?
So a great question, and it's a dilemma for a lot of people. And the first question that you all need to ask yourself is that, who are your audience? Before you want to sell anything, if you don't have a persona of your own audience, you are at the wrong place. You're starting it wrong. All right. So the first and the most important thing is you guys need to know who your audience is. That's the first question you ask. The second question you ask yourself is, and you do a research around that, is that where does your audience hang out? Where do you find your audience opening up, talking, discussing? Where are the best of the community of your audience, coming together? Is it YouTube? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn, or where? All right. So once you have the answer for both the things, then you will get the answer that which platform you should be starting from. Now, when I say starting from, it's just starting from. It doesn't mean that you stick to that platform, because no matter what business you are in, you will have audience who prefer Facebook, who prefer Insta, YouTube, or who prefers a LinkedIn. Now, the most important thing for every personal brand, and one of the most important, I would say, medium of communication that everyone should use is video. I mean, that's like the super important aspect for you to connect with your audience. You cannot only do pictures. You cannot write a blog anymore. People don't like reading. People have moved on to podcasts where they just want to listen when they're brushing their teeth. I mean, how many people reads a book now? I mean, yes, there are people who love reading and they love the touch and feel of the book. But yes, most of the millennials now have started using Audible, have started listening to podcasts. Most of the best of the authors have started converting their book into Audible, have started giving their talks and putting it as a podcast. So you need to first, and the most important thing is you need to be comfortable with giving a video. So once you do the video part, that's the most heavy lifting part of your content making. All right. So once you've done your video, then there are a lot of tools in the market which allows you to post this video on Facebook, on Insta, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and all the places, guys. So, yeah, you were saying something?
Yeah, please finish and I'll ask us.
So, as I said, firstly, find out who your audience is. Secondly, find out where do they hang out. And thirdly, after you figure that out, so it could be Facebook that you may want to start with, because you guys are liking Facebook, you guys are liking Instagram. But yes, everybody says that Instagram is all about pictures. Trust me, people like to watch videos on Insta. IGTV is super famous at this moment. People are going berserk on watching IGTVs. So that platform has grown and people have started watching IGTVs. Yes, you should also start making live videos because the platform loves it. LinkedIn has started doing live videos in the last 1 week, 10 days. They've introduced live videos. At this moment, if you start doing live videos on LinkedIn, they're going to love you for it. And they're going to boost your videos without you even have to pay them. So guys, if you are a personal brand, if you want to be a personal brand, and if LinkedIn is the place where your audience hangs out, and if you love that platform, just go crazy out there. Do live videos. Don't post your videos there. Don't record a video and then post it out there. Just do live. You will realize in the next 30 days, LinkedIn is going to help you boost your videos to as many people as possible. All right. So start doing live videos. It's going to be beautiful for you. It's going to help you. And yes, as I said, the heavy lifting part of it is doing videos. If you've done that part, it's very easy to post it across all the channels. So and what you can also do is strip off the audio from the video and put it on the podcast. So you're done with that as well. So it's super intelligent. I mean, if you guys can do that, I mean, today, if you do a Zoom video, that's what I do. I do a Zoom video. I get an audio and I get a video both. So I take the video and I post it and I remove the audio from it, which they give us anyways. And I take the audio and I'm making a podcast. Same content, one goes in video, one goes in audio. So, you're crazy. It's lovely.
Great insight, Meher. But also the fact that once you are in multiple programs, a lot of time people ask that what kind of content you should keep. I mean, like, is it the same content you're going to use in all the platforms, or do you have different content?
Yeah.
So what is your take on that? Should we have to share the same message across all digital platforms, or we should change the message? What is your perspective on that?
So, So you know, what is personal branding? Now let's understand. Yes, Harvinder explained you what is personal branding. First of all, if you're not genuine, if it's not authentic, if you're not here to make an impact, if you're not here to contribute, really contribute to your audience, then you're not in the right game. I mean, personal branding, it's about contributor. It's about giving first and then asking. You can't be asking. You can't go up there and sell. Your 10 messages needs to be giving value, and your 11th could be asking. But before the 10th contribution, you can't ask. All right, so that's the you know, the foundation of personal branding. Now, after you do that, it doesn't mean that you have to talk always for your domain knowledge, because people are not watching you because you have the domain knowledge. People are also watching you because they connect with you as a person. They understand that you are a genuine giver. They understand, they connect with your ideology. So they want to see the personal side of you. So reality TV, the reason why the reality TV is gone so big is because people love reality. So your content which goes on these multiple channels, what is the problem is that every time a personal brand person goes up and he only talks about that content. He will never talk about he has a family, he goes out, he does this, he reads this book, and this is the kind of knowledge he got from this book. He never does all of these things. He only comes in, and if he's a ghazal singer, he'll keep coming and singing ghazals every time. If he's a writer, if he's only going to keep writing and talk about his blog. That's not what people want to listen to. They like you, so they want to see the real you behind you. So if you take an example, Tony Robbins. So one of the things that you guys have to start doing is to identify who your your top 100 personal brand, aspirational brand person is, identity is. So if you're following someone, you need to start looking at what sort of posting he does, what sort of stuff he does. So if I follow Gary Vee, so I keep looking out what he does, what this guy does, and what things attracts people, his audience. What is his audience like? And based on what his audience like, I start curating content around that. There's no harm in, I'm not copying, but I'm seeing what my audience likes. So that's exactly what you all have to do. You have to figure out which celebrity, which personal brand your audience are following. And if they are following that personal identity, that brand or that individual, you start going there, because that's where your audience is hanging out. That's where your audience is collecting, and that's where your audience is talking. And if they are talking, Tony Robbins doesn't have time to reply to 3,000 comments which comes there. So you could be the one to replying to that comment. So be there, be visible there, and people will connect with you. They'll start noticing you. They'll start seeing you, that you are the person who has the similar knowledge, while they are looking up to Gary Vee, or while they are looking up to Tony Robbins.
Great.
Yeah. So it's important for you guys. Yeah.
Absolute awesome inputs, Meher. And how do you choose those platforms? I mean, as an individual, what platform should I choose? And please guide us. How should we choose our platforms?
I replied to that question earlier, that you definitely first identify your audience persona, and you figure out where do they hang out.
Okay.
If they have been hanging out on Insta, if they are a Facebook audience, if you think your audience are mainly on Facebook, if you think most of your communities are collaborating or coming together on Facebook groups, then be on Facebook groups. If you think that most of your people like to watch YouTube videos, then you stay on YouTube and you start producing content on YouTube. And as I said, you got to invest some time out, and the most important part, and yes, what Kabir and what Nisha said, it's important. When I say make videos, I'm not saying don't have images. But if you have 10 content, then you should have at least 6 to 7 videos. Yeah, you should have at least 60% of your content should be videos. If you really want to go fast, if you want to, if you want to engage with more people, and if you want to go aggressive, I mean, that's an aggressive approach. I mean, it depends. If you want to go slow, you're welcome to go slow. But if you want to go fast, then video content really, spreads like viral. It gives an opportunity to be shared. It makes the person stay engaged. And if you're really a good orator, if you can really have a strong content in you, then those things can really go viral for you. And yeah, if you have time, if the heavy lifting part is done of creating the videos, then posting is not a challenge. Yeah. So that's only 10% of your.
Correct, you're absolutely right. And let me give you an example here. See, we run a page called Shoot Guru. That's a brand that we have. Typically about 146,000 followers. Typical engagement about 3,000 to 4,000 people. But the fact is that when I post a video, it's about 2 or 3 times more engagement for even the shortest of videos that are posted. It could be a tip, it could be, clip, or anything of that sort. Whereas if it's a photograph or if it's a post or anything of that sort, it comes down. People look at it, but the fact is there is no engagement. They don't comment on it, and there's no, they don't take it further. But videos, boom, it goes up phenomenally.
Yeah,
so really
I would like to say one thing here. See, video is only a format, but if you are, even if you are building if you're crafting a video, what you're going to say in that video, now that has to be very carefully curated.
Oh yes.
And how are
absolutely,
you narrate, you build your story. So Kabir, you are a visual storyteller and a trained one, and you've got years of experience behind you, successful case studies. But for somebody who is starting out and building their personal brand, it can be a bit daunting. And that is where, again, going back to the basics and the drawing board again, the question comes: what is the purpose of building that video? And how are you going to plan your content in that video for it to become something of value to your users or your followers? It has to have some value to it.
No, absolutely right. So I think, Meher, I want to give a little tip over here. It's absolutely possible for people to create their own video content. You don't always need to hire experts to do that. And video becomes it's a very daunting word that you need cameras, you need lights, you need a studio to do it. No, there is one device these days that you need, and that's called your phone. And that has all it takes. If you have a good mic, if you have a quiet room, you can create a brilliant video which you can edit right there and post right away. So it's not as daunting now as it used to be maybe even a year back or maybe a couple of years back. But yes, the clarity of what you want to communicate and what is it that your audience is looking at you to receive, that clarity is the most critical in the process.
The intent and the content, and both. You have to be very clear about that.
So one of the things, the most important when you're creating a video is that don't have, a thought in your mind that you want to sell something. Keep that sales off your radar. So it should not even be running on your mind that you want to sell something. The ill feeling should not be there. The real, genuine you should be talking to contribute at least in that video. And things that is important is that the first thing is a hook. There are three aspects of every video, every content, or every landing page, or everything that you want to communicate. The first and the 3 elements that you should be concentrating. The first one is hook. All right, guys, you may want to write this down. This is like a super thumb rule of any content that you're creating digitally. I mean, forget about digitally, even if you are anywhere, one of the first thing, the most important is hook. Hook means, how do you grab attention? There is so much of noise on the internet. There is so much of content around the internet. The most important thing is that to grab attention. To grab attention, you need to have a hook. Now that hook could be something, I'm not going to say wacky, but it has to be different start than the regular. I mean, I took a video where I was facing my back in the start of the video. For like 5 to 10 seconds, my camera was facing my back, and I stood there, and then I turned. I mean, that's a hook. I mean, people were wondering that who the hell is this guy who's facing his back on when he's starting the video. So that grabs attention. Your goal for the hook is to grab attention. And without annoying the person, you should be writing a hook. It could be a title, it could be an action, it could be, it could be a black and white picture in the start instead of the colorful picture that you see everywhere on Facebook and Insta. Create a black and white picture. A lady sitting in a black and white time with a very old phone, the person is going to stop. What's this? So that's hook. The first thing is hook. The second thing is that have a story. Engage the person into, connect the person with some sort of a reference, some sort of a real story. Talk about a story, not like an old age story, but story about related to what you're going to talk. Like, how could you make a difference with your content in 5 minutes? Now that's going to stop the person. That's like a super hook. Yeah. So have a story around it. And the first thing is a hook, then it's a story. And then the last thing is, what is the action that you want the person to do? Give him an actionable stuff. If it's a sales pitch, then have an offer. If it's not a sales pitch, then have an actionable stuff waiting for him at the end of the video.
Wow. What's called a call to action in our
call to action. Ask them to comment below, ask them to like the video ask them to follow you if they want to see more of you and stuff like that. Yeah, so hook story offer.
Great. Meher, awesome. Come to the similar question to you, Nick. So a couple of quick questions for you, Meher. The first one would be, how frequent should we post on social media? I mean, a lot of people say that it can be too much. Is like if you're posting it every day or 2-3 times a day. What do you think is a good frequency for a person who's looking at his personal brand to post on a social media? What is your thought on that? Some quick answers.
So if you are posting on your own personal profile and your own personal page, you can go as frequent as possible. You can go like 2 times, 3 times a day. There are people who go 3 times a day. So it depends how hungry you are, how aggressive you are, and how much content do you really have in your belly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
so if
Twitter
you have it under your belly,
is a great example of that. People post all the time. People are posting constantly.
So it just depends how much of content you have in your belly.
Sometimes I've heard people saying this because I see a lot of people now started doing a lot of videos every day, going live every day, or like things like that. A lot of posts are coming in. Sometimes people say that it's too much of information. Maybe the information is on the similar lines or what it is, I don't know. But then I've definitely heard people
there has to be a balance.
Okay.
I mean, there has to be a balance. As I said, not always domain. Show that you're working out, show that you're healthy, show that the different things that you're doing, which can connect with the real people, the real you.
Great.
So that's important.
Awesome.
I mean,
please go ahead, man. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I mean, as I said, it's just what you have in your belly. So how much content you have in your belly.
Okay, the next question, which you already discussed a little bit, but I still want your expert opinion. Before that, I'd like to take a very, very small and fast poll. As in, how do you think you can engage more people? I mean, is by organic way of doing it, or actually by doing paid polls? So yes, let's get that into this. Simple poll for all of you.
Yeah.
He's already answered, but still your thoughts on, do you think you should go for organic growth, Facebook ads, SEO, Google ads, or all possible paid up stuff with a set monthly budget? Great. I think we're going to do a quick one on this. Take another 5 seconds and we're going to wind up. Yes, things coming very, very fast. Almost 70% people voted. Okay, another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to end this poll now and change the results. There you go. 33% feel organic growth. 53% feel that all possible paid ads with a set monthly budget. What do you think, Meher?
Okay. So I really leave it up to the audience. as I said, what's your hunger? So if you're hungry and if you really want to reach out to the more people who needs your help, then you can't be waiting for them to come to you. You got to go to them. And the only way for you to go to them is going to be paid acquisition. I mean, I'm sorry that it may sound like, you're pushing people, but Facebook is not going to push your video in front of them and make them watch it. If they don't like it, they will move up. But if they like it, they will engage. And if you've done the right targeting, if you push the right interest, you're going to have the right people to watch your content. So what's the problem? And trust me, I was telling this to people. You know how much does it take for you to reach a person, to take your video to your right audience? It takes you less than 10 paise. Less than 10 paise for your video to be reached to the right audience. I mean, 10 paise on YouTube and probably 17 to 19 paise on Facebook. It's a little expensive on Facebook, but YouTube, it will only take you 10 paise to reach out to your audience. Now, obviously, it's going to be only 5 or 10 or 15% of your people who are going to love your content and going to watch it. The remaining people may not. But what's the harm? It's just 10 paise. So guys, there's no point waiting.
So yeah, great. Of course, I think if you want to do it fast, that's the way it is. So one last question before we actually go to Q&A round. Do you think in the current scenario, we should wait for things to change, or you think that we should change the things ourselves? What is your take on that, Meher? And then we'll go to the Q&A round.
You have no choice. You got no choice. I mean, who has a choice at this moment?
Yeah,
guys,
it's like, pivot or perish. There is no.
Yeah, I mean, guys, come on. I mean, you have to go this route. You have to. You have to engage. I mean, infopreneur. Okay, the industry of sharing knowledge, of giving information, is going to be $1 trillion industry. I mean, you're seeing it all around you. What we are doing at this moment is giving information. I know of people who is just a plumber, and he has a Facebook group, and I read a blog about him. He's a plumber, and he has a Facebook group of all the plumbers, and the one who wants to be in his group has to pay $100.
Oh.
And he shows tricks and ways of how to be a good plumber. Come on, guys, it's information. It's the age of information. If you have it in you, there are people waiting to learn from you. And if you're going to wait and wait and wait, that organically Facebook and Google is going to give you those audience that, hey, listen, these are the people who wants to hear from you, then that God be with you.
Okay, thank you so much, all of you.
To know is that Facebook is in the business, and they need to make money as well. So yeah, might as well pay.
So I think I do agree with all of you that the new normal is go digital. With this, you're going to come now to Q&A round. Thank you so much, guys, for amazing insights. Before we actually do that.